Welcome back, everybody. Got another one for you today. Another amazing person, great breeder, doing amazing things for the hobby. I really wanted to get my buddy Mauricio here some more exposure. Without any further ado, this is Mauricio from Gecko Monster. Can you introduce yourself? Just give the guests, the viewers, maybe a quick back history on your business, maybe a little bit how you got into this.
Yeah, like everybody know, my name is Mauricio from Gecko Monster. I started around 8 years ago, where me and my brother just went to the pet store, and started seeing all these things. Right there, I was caught by a leaf-tail gecko, which that's how it started. I found it so interesting the way they look, the tail, how they camouflage. Right away, it caught my eye. So I got my first pet right there. I remember at that time,
Sure.
my budget was super tight. So I remember I spent that day like $600, and which for me at that moment, it was huge. But I was like, you know what? I love this guy. I got to take it with me. So then I started working with them. I got another one. By a couple of months, I had like 6.
Damn, that was fast.
Yeah. Then I start finding out more about reptiles. My brother started working at Underground's reptiles.
Oh, shit, really?
So he started working there. Then I was more into it, and I went to a show when I saw Tiki Gecko for the first time.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, David, I just interviewed him Wednesday. I had him on the podcast. He's a super cool dude. He don't realize how many people he brings to this hobby. Like I've been keeping reptiles for 40 years.
I think that's what it makes this so big, and what it makes this, so strong, and the reason why we're getting bigger and bigger.
Absolutely.
A lot for my experience. I've been in both ends of the hobby, which it's hard to acquire something really high end because prices are super expensive when you want to get to those ends. So I've been in both. So my way of doing things is, try to give people the chance to get there easier than, hit somebody that, have crazy geckos and crazy prices, because a lot of people that have the crazy geckos, they're amazing, amazing breeders, amazing people. But what is that the price has a reason why. Because you put a lot of times into it, you grow the parents, you work with them for years, because for a female to be ready, you need at least 2 years, make sure she's ready, that includes sometimes visits to the vet, at least for me, I try to make sure all the females are ready to go. Not because, they hit certain way. No, I try to, go a little beyond that, because I had a really bad experience with one of my females. And I don't want that to happen again.
What happened, if you don't mind? Egg-bound?
Yes, he got egg-bound. I couldn't catch it on time. So as soon as I saw it wasn't eating, wasn't moving too much, I took it to the vet. The vet couldn't do much, and he passed. And that was my first big hit right there, because on that female, if I'm not mistaken, I spent like $3,000. So
that's a hard hit.
To lose that female, it hit me really hard. Not because of the money, it was because you had a big project, you got something done for it, your hopes are getting better, you're happy, you're enjoying it, and out of the sudden, boom, half of the project is done.
Yeah, man, that's a rough one. A lot of people, I give you credit again. A lot of people would have quit. A lot of people would have said, "That's it. I'm done."
And you think about things like that. Why should I keep going if this is gonna happen again? But the thing is that we always got to remember that we're working with live animals. Live animals is just like a person. They can get sick, something can happen, and if you decided to go that route, then you got to understand that something like this could happen. Just like when we have a pain on your tooth, you got to go to the dentist, and you don't plan on it. It's something that just happened.
Absolutely.
So I believe that has a lot to do with the prices behind what people ask for different geckos. On my end, again, I try to, give the chances, to have certain things that may other people.
That's awesome of you too. Making it easier. You make it more accessible more easier for people to get into some nicer lines than you had it, right? Like it's that's a nice thing to do. I said you're making it more accessible for people to get nicer animals, more easier than it was for you. You're making it easier for other people to get nice animals than it was for you to buy those animals. It's it's a noble thing to do. You don't have to be out here charging people an arm and a leg. Not that I'm not saying people aren't entitled to the money they make, but you don't got to charge 30 grand for a gecko. It's
I believe, everybody is, I respect everybody. First of all, everybody have, there's certain things, have their certain prices, the reason because of behind the prices. But, I'm different, I try to take a different route, if it hurts me, that's me, No, it will not hurt you, you know?
Yeah,
You do
that's
you,
big of you.
I do me, and
That's a man thing to do. That's a noble thing to do. That's I respect it. That's it's a beautiful thing, man, and it grows the hobby by doing something like that. You make the hobby better. It's a power move. It's a power move when you spend the money, make some really nice animals, and sell them for a little bit less to get them to some people that are going to do amazing things with those animals.
yeah, again, sometimes give somebody the chance is gonna make, get 4 more people into the hobby, you
Absolutely,
know,
absolutely,
because sometimes there's a big barrier where you want to get somewhere and you already know before you start that you can go through. So
absolutely,
that makes you think, why should I start if I'm not gonna get through? You know?
absolutely. So after you got your first couple geckos, your first the 8 geckos or the first geckos that you bought, were they all leaf tails? When did you start going towards Gargs and the new Cal stuff?
Yes, they were all leaked out. It was this time that I went to the show, saw David for the first time, and that time he had Deadpool on the table. So as soon as I saw that gecko, I was like, that's where I'm going. And I remember I got really close. I didn't hold him that time because, it's my first time. I didn't want to, the animal look insane. I know a lot of people stress a lot with their animals. So I just looked at it and saw him and I said, that's where I'm headed. I
What was
want
it?
one
The
of them.
color? What
Yes.
made you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is that Deadpool he has the 2 colors that I like the most, which is red and black. He's not that that light gecko. He's super red intense and dark.
Yeah.
So I saw that, and you know what? And I said, I need to get one of those. So I remember that day I bought 2 geckos, which one was a male, a Deadpool male he had, and I bought another one, just a regular kind of type of blushy, and I was super happy. So I started, and the thing is that when I get into something, I really get into it. So I start finding out best breeders, people that work with the lines. I started talking to people, not too many, because I'm not very good, talking to the camera. And it was tough for me, all, Instagram, all this stuff. So I started getting into it. And I got 3. At the end, from another breeder, I got a female, got another female, then from David, and then I started my group.
Nice. Did you know right off the bat? I mean, even from when you had the leaf tails, did you know you wanted to make this a business? Did you know you were going to go the business route, or was it just
No,
simply
you
collect?
know what? It was super funny how I looked this as a business because I'm super attached to these geckos. Like to let go one of them before it was crazy. I remember the first gecko I sold. I think I thought it like 5 times. I even told my wife that I was going to give him the money back. That I know it wasn't the right thing to do, but I was going to give him the money back and, try to talk to him, make sure he didn't get mad because it was like they were my kids,
That says a
you
lot.
know.
That says a lot
Yeah,
about you.
and then that's what it was. The first reason it was because, not disrespect anybody. I know everybody do their best, but I try to give them the best care that I can, you know, and give the best of the best. So it was hard for me, to let go of that. Not because they're not gonna do it, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna give their best as well. But that was the hard part for me to let go. So with the time, it got to the point that I used to live in a small house. I had so many that my wife told me, "Hey, we got to do something. There's too many. We cannot have anymore." And it became to be something nice, to be a struggle, because you know how women are. We got to follow when they say something.
Married too,
We
brother.
got to try
Trust
to get in line. So that's when I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try to let go a couple, to make more room. And we did this deal. If I make the space, I can replace the space.
me.
So
Good deal.
that gave me, the push of it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start selling a couple, even though it was hard. I remember the first batch that I saw, and I think I didn't know about prices. I didn't know about anything. I even didn't know how strong the Deadpool line was. Till I really got into, knowing more people. I started talking to David more, and he explained me a little things, and that's when I got the understanding. And I'm pretty sure I sold insane geckos for the moment super cheap.
Learn.
But that doesn't bother me because I give the chance to somebody to have them, which is great. But then I learn everything, and even though I learn prices difference and things, I also thought about it, because it's hard. It's hard that we go every day out there as men, make the money for the house. And when you have a hobby that you really want to put time and money into it, because a lot to do with this is put some money into it.
Sure.
And it was like something that made me realize, that I could help other people, get where they want to get.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And again, I'm a super crazy going person, so I start, finding about lines, different geckos. That's when I, jump the big things. And I'm super stubborn, so I will save like 6 months to buy this one gecko because it couldn't be another one. It had to be that one.
Good.
So that's when I start taking the steps. And plus that I start, producing crazy stuff. I have one gecko that is called Klaus that
Yes.
is it's super red. Like it's a red intense that, I didn't see in many other geckos.
Yeah, I'm gonna show them in a little bit. When we're done in a little couple more questions, I want to ask you, and I'm gonna pull your Instagram page up and show
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, of
I was
course.
looking at him all day, man. You got a lot of nice animals, man. You got a lot of nice animals. That
Yes,
sable, that Lily Sable girl you got is fire.
yeah,
Some,
that girl is crazy.
she come from Korea too? Did you get her from Korea?
Yes, I got her from Korea. She's great. The only thing that I noticed that from difference, that how we work here and how they work there, is that their animals are smaller. For
Really?
for us, what we think somebody is an adult, for them is an adult way before. So when I got them, I had to let them grow. Supposedly, I bought them for ready to breed, so had to let them grow for a little more because for me they weren't ready.
Yeah, yeah. That's how was that whole process? I mean, when you're done, but how was that whole process dealing with Korea? How did that whole thing transpire? When and how and what made you do all
Look,
that?
it's a really good experience. At the beginning, I was super scared
Yeah,
because you send in $3,000-$4,000 to somebody that you don't even know. Even in the back where you're doing the wire, they ask you, "Are you sure this is not a scam? You
they're
sure
gonna
this is
punch you.
legit? Are you sure?" Because as soon as we press send, There's not coming back. Yeah, you say yes, yes, yes. And then you have to wait for them to send it. Fortunately, I met Fiddle, which is a really good guy. Helps out a lot in the process. He keeps in touch with you, lets you know how things are going. He even once I bought a gecko that it wasn't what I was supposed to get. He sent it back and he told me, I sent this gecko back because it's not what you pay for. So I'm gonna give you back the money, and then you decide if you're gonna buy something else. Which that gave me like a big green light,
Yeah.
to keep doing business with him, because that tells you that he really got your back in the sense, because he's basically the middleman, where he knows most of the breeders. So he pick up your geckos, he keeps them, and then he sends them to you.
So I never bought one from there. I know a few guys that have, but I haven't yet. So I'm like super interested to hear all of your guys' experiences. And not for nothing, I hear better things about Fetal than I do about Morph Market, man. I
Look, I have bad experience with Morph Market.
see. I
Now,
can't. Everybody I talk to has never heard a bad experience from Fetal yet.
the thing is that, at least experience with Morph Market, on pictures you can put everything, but when you receive the real product, it's a big difference. That's why whenever I sell a gecko, I try to, send you different pictures, send you videos, put them in the light, put them where you can really see. And even though I don't know why, it's my problem. My camera is not good enough. So a lot of the people that I sold geckos to, when they received it, they're like, "Bro, this is not what she showed me. This look way better than what you showed me." So that keeps me really happy, that I'm doing something right.
But you have morals, though. That's why I really
And
wanted
and
you on here too. One of the reasons you got
and I
morals.
tell, yeah, because, bro, my dad, taught me that those are the first things of a man. Respect, have your principles right, very bound, because that's what it makes you. If you respect, let's say we're doing business, I respect you as a business owner, you respect me as a business owner. When you cross that line, you messed up that business relationship right there, because either you're not going to trust me or I'm not going to trust you.
Facts.
And trust is one of the most important things when you're doing something with someone else.
Absolutely, it's
You know,
everything.
so that's what I always tell people, things how they are. So we have everything up front. So when something happened, you're not like, "Oh, well, you told me this, you told me that."
Where do you do the most of your selling? I mean, do you use Morph Market? Are you selling on Morph Market?
No, I have never sold the Morph Market.
So you doing shows like Daytona and
Yes,
shows and
yes,
stuff?
yes. I start going to the shows, to expose myself to a lot of people. Instagram, you know, and do most of the things in the shows and in Instagram.
Instagram, you do well on Instagram. I know a lot of people that do. They do better on Instagram. They do
Yeah,
Morph Market.
yeah. I think Instagram is a way of getting people to know you, to see you. I
Absolutely.
think it's not easy. You gotta put a lot of time and work into it, for people, because if you see somebody, talking about geckos, showing geckos, that doesn't give you trust. He has them, but it doesn't, give me the trust that I should have.
Yep.
In the shows, it's more easy because you can talk to the people. The people see you there. Even though sometimes they don't buy anything, but they know who you are. They know you are there all the time. They know what you're backing up.
Yeah. Builds credibility for
Of
sure.
course.
That's another reason why I wanted, we started doing this podcast was there were so many names out there, right? You go on Instagram and thousands of gecko breeders and whatnot. I wanted to start giving people the opportunity to put a face to a brand. So people could watch an episode, they could get a vibe on who a person is, and it me personally makes me feel a lot more comfortable. I work with
Of
Chihuahuas.
course.
Chihuahuas aren't cheap, man. You know that. Chihuahuas
Oh,
are
of
expensive
course
animals. I
not.
spend $2,000 every time I buy something. It's at least two
Yes.
grand.
I think
And I
I
don't
think
like
our
sending my
gecko
money to
business
people.
are one of the most expensive ones.
Yeah. So it's for me, I've always gravitated towards the businesses where maybe I haven't met the breeder, but I could see them in action. I could see them talk. I could see their body language. I could see how they carry themselves, and it means a lot to me, you know. And I think it does a lot of people. I think that if people could see
Yeah,
who they're doing business with,
I,
puts
I,
them at
I
ease
believe that has a lot to do, with who you choose at the end.
for sure.
Because when you talk to the person, there's a lot of people that may see you and they may say, nah, this is not the right guy, but when they get the chance to see you, just like you're saying, then the mind changes. And they're like, well, this guy actually, do his things right. I'm gonna give the vote to him.
For sure. Have you imported any animals from any other countries? Have you imported anything from like Europe or anything yet?
Yes, I got one from Spain.
Wow,
Yes, I got a couple of good friends from Spain that they got a crazy animals.
that's awesome.
Good people over there. But the market is it has a big difference from here than what is over there.
Really?
Yeah, it's like they're used to. First of all, they don't have. It's only no. It's not that. Only a few people have like really crazy stuff. Why? Because they're not used to wasting, like you said, $2,000, $3,000 in an animal because they make a lot less than what we make here. Their difference, money wise, is really big. So it's a bit different. But yes, I got some good people over there that I actually sent some geckos to Spain as well.
That's awesome. That's
That they
awesome.
have them over there.
How was the importing? Did you need any special licenses or did you have to get permits or anything? How does that
No,
work?
because you do it with the middleman. So this person is called. Hopefully, I'm saying it right. Calubra reptiles, where they are from Europe and from here. So they bring them in here, and then you just pick them up, just like over there. They take them over there. They take them to a show where they pick them up.
It's interesting. They always find it amazing, when people do it because it's like you look at a map and my computer table thing is like a whole global map, and I'm like, damn, people are flying geckos from there all the way to over there. Like that's crazy, And we trip out in America about sending one from California to New York, and it's like these things are coming from
And,
Asia.
and it's crazy because I worry more about that than bringing them from Korea and from all of these places. I don't know because I don't know. We know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, it is what it is.
I
I mean,
worry more when I do it here than when I do it overseas.
yeah, it
I guess
seems like
because
there's more pit stops here. Like things get lost over here. When it's coming from Korea, it's just going from point A to point B. Over here, it's a million stops along the way.
yes. And when you say you gotta see the other hub, how's the weather, then over there make sure the guy that you send them picks them up in time. And it happens to me that a gecko was lost.
You sending it out or coming to
No,
you?
they sent it to me. So the gecko was fortunately the gecko was good. Everything was good. But
Good.
he got lost, and you're like, the gecko got lost. What I'm gonna do?
I don't even know what you could do. I mean, that's a, it's a,
That's the
I don't
thing. I
sell
said
animals.
I said the same thing. I said, what I'm gonna do? Basically, you're lost.
For sure, for sure. I heard even with like insurance. I was watching a video one time with the guy from Redline Shipping, and he was saying that like even if you buy insurance, it doesn't always cover. Like if you order a package and it doesn't come, that doesn't mean you're getting reimbursed for everything you paid. It doesn't always work like that. So it's just scary.
And,
It's scary.
and that's the other thing that is tough here in the business because most of the things that we buy from Amazon and all other places, you can just press one button and it's returned. Money is reimbursed. With animals, is different.
Absolutely.
So then you gotta explain the person. You gotta talk to the person. Some people, don't understand or don't want to understand. So that's when bad things happen. It hasn't happened to me. Thanks God. Everything I sent is got in there.
Good. Do you do anything differently when you ship? How when you ship an animal out? Do you take any different type of special procedures or precautions? Just in case they are to get lost. Do you put like extra heat packs or extra cooling packs?
Yes. Yes, I always spit one of each, just to make sure. I remember David from Tiki Geckos. He lived close here from where I live. So I ask him a lot of things. Sometimes I feel like I bug him
Good,
too much, you
good.
know. But he helps me out a lot. He tell me to, try to do this, try to do that, you know. And that's where I got him, He told me to put when to put the holes, when not to, how to close it, where to put the hit pack, where to do this. Because yeah, the first thing you got out there. Well, the first shipment I think was one of the hardest things to do. I think I made the box, if I'm not lying to you, like three or four times. Because I wanted it to be good so the guy could get it. But
Better
yeah,
safe than sorry, you know.
100%. I said, you know what? I'd rather waste the money in my end. I make sure everything is the right way.
It's the good thing, man. And with a teacher like David, a role model, or someone teaching you what would you call him? I guess like a role model, I guess. Like
Yeah,
someone to help you get through it, like David is
100%.
priceless, bro. That's priceless, man. This
Yes.
kid innovated this game, man. Like he's
No, and the thing is that I know a lot of people know he is a super nice guy. You may see him, he may be busy, but he always make the time, to talk to people. He's a super nice guy. Manny as well. Manny is a great guy. And
very
and and
humble.
it's a great thing to have. Because
Especially with all the fighting in the hobby, man. Like it's as big as the gecko hobby is, when you take it and say, like, I'm big into sports bikes and import cars, right? When you take geckos and you compare them to, just say, the Honda world, right? Geckos don't even come close, bro. They don't even come close. They don't even come close. Them cats, all you got to do is have a Honda badge, and we're brothers. We're brothers. Ain't no real fighting. We could bang out on a track, maybe on the street, but that's it. We're brothers. The gecko thing, people just, everybody's competition and wants to fight. David,
but that's what I tell people. This is my impression of things, because this has happened to me a lot. Where they said, my geckos are not good enough. This other one is better. This other one is better. And I tell everybody, I understand. There's a lot of people in the hobby better than me. I'm not trying to be the best here. I'm just doing my thing.
amen,
If you like my things, I appreciate it. We can
amen.
work a deal. You can get, but if you like someone else, I'm not gonna go tell you, oh no, my geckos are better than yours, because and try to fight. That's why I always tell fight. Why we fight if we all going the same way, instead of. That's why I like a lot of the breeders here in Florida. We are super attached. Like we all friends to each other. We may have the same gecko selling, but then I don't know. Yours have, let's say, a spot in the head. We tell each other, look, this guy has the one that you're looking for. Go buy it from him. And they do the opposite as well. And why not? If we all trying to get somewhere, why are we gonna fight? Believe that's why a lot of people, are going the wrong direction, because they think if they fight strong enough, they're gonna get somewhere. And it's not like that. It's strong. The more we are, the more together we are, the stronger we are.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, Mauricio.
And I don't understand the same thing that you do, because I also love cars. I like Japanese cars and stuff. And bro, when you take your car there, you may not know the
It's
person. You
family.
see him for the first time, but he treats you like you're his boy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And why he shouldn't? The thing is that every time you bring money into something, that's when the fight starts. But it shouldn't be like that, because if you think about it, if you're all making something, we're all happy. And it's gonna happen whether you want it or not. There's so many people, there's so many companies, that everybody's gonna pick one, and at the end of the day, everybody's gonna be happy and is gonna make what they can. Of course, some people are gonna make more of the other one, because I also believe the stronger you push, the stronger you want it, you're gonna get more there.
Absolutely, for sure, and that's all. That's just life. You know what I'm saying? If you put more work in,
100%.
you're gonna get more out of it. But you don't have to try to put your foot on another business's throat just so you could do better. Do more work. Do more advertising, do more branding, get online more, post more, be more active. Don't bash somebody or belittle somebody or put someone's animal or product down to make yours look better. That's just an ugly look. I see people do that, Mauricio, and I won't even be in the fight. Like, I'll see two people arguing about something and say maybe I was going to buy an animal from one of these two, and I'll listen to what these people do. I'll person chop right off my list. I'll never buy an animal from you if I see you treat
Uh,
somebody like a piece of shit.
I'll do the same thing.
I
You
don't want
know,
nothing to do with it.
I do the same thing because again, this is somebody who should put us together. And when there's two things that I saw, and when you are in it, and you start to see how really people are, you see how great people are, and you see how bad people are at the same time. Because this, you see the competition, you see that the things they say, and I just rather be out of it. Even when there's some people that wrote me from Instagram telling me, that this gecko, this is what they told me. I'm not gonna say who it is, but this is what they told me. This gecko's price is this. Let's say it's 1,000. So it looks better than mine. So why mine was 1,200 instead of 1,000? If this gecko was better than mine, and I told them, because again, I'm super respectful person, and I will not disrespect you no matter what you told me till you, of course, cross the line. So I told him, it's great. It's great that you find a better gecko, and it's a better price. If you can go that way, go and buy it. I'll be
Good.
happy for you.
No,
I'll be happy for you because you got what you wanted, and that's what it matters.
for
And
sure.
how much next time if you ask me for something, I'm gonna try to help you as well. Because I try to let go things.
Yeah.
My life has been tough. So at one point of my life, not to get into
No,
the
go
deep
ahead,
things,
brother.
I learned that you have to let go of some things, so your soul can feel better, because sometimes you keep so much stuff into you that, men, especially, I'm talking about men. Men, we try to, at least at the house, you're the strong one. You're the one who fights. You're the one that keeps everything. You're not the one when you walk into the door and your girls see me, I have a smile, and I have to keep everything out of the house, So we men think that's the way to go, but we keep so much things into us that it gets to a point that you have to let go.
Sure.
And I learned to letting go, and not keeping, you know, negativity and bad stuff. It makes me better.
Absolutely.
So it helps
Absolutely.
me move forward easily.
Absolutely. I tell my wife all the time, man. I went through some things, right? And I told my wife, I tell everybody really, but one of the most dangerous things I ever had to teach myself was to give up things I love. I've had to teach myself and get comfortable with giving up things that I didn't want to ever get rid of, man. And
100%,
that's
100%.
part of being a
And
man, I guess.
and right there, I understand you completely because I've been there. But when you're able to cross that bridge, then you become a different person.
Sure,
And when
sure.
you look back, you can say,
Yeah, absolutely. You could pause it and on your end, you see the screen and the microphone.
brother, really sorry. I had to pick up one of the guys that work got hurt. So I have an event company. We
Oh
do,
yeah,
yeah. We
That's
do
awesome.
parties, events, we build tents, things like that.
That's awesome, man. So you got own two businesses then.
Yes.
That's what's up, man. Respect, brother. I love it, man. I love an entrepreneur, man. This
Yeah.
America, right? Like, and I'm not assuming that you're from another country or anything like that, but I was just talking to David yesterday. We were talking about, the heated political debate right now with immigrants and whatnot. I'm not an immigrant, but my people came from Italy, right? In 1930 something, my family came from Italy. Didn't know nothing. My grandfather didn't know nothing. My grandfather came here, joined the military, came from Italy, joined the American military, came home. They paid for him on the GI Bill to go to college, put three daughters through college, built a home, bought all of his kids their first homes. I mean, when you talk about, my point is that you see like people come from other countries, come to this country and use American freedom and rights and build businesses. There ain't nothing better, man. There ain't nothing more
Of
badass to
course.
see
Yeah,
than that.
and the funny thing is that my wife is Italian.
For real? Okay.
Yes.
That's what's up.
Yes. And the person that is like my dad now, he's also Italian.
See?
So it's funny, great people. And I believe, we came here for a reason, we came for
Opportunity.
my father background is crazy as well. He was one of the bodyguards. I don't know if you know Pinochet from Chile. He was one of his bodyguards.
That's what's
So
up.
he was from the police over there. So that the problem is when that got dissolved, they were looking for people to hang. So he had to get out of the country, came over here with nothing, and start working. And
One of my best friends, Miguel, is from Chile. He's another kid, man. I mean, I don't want to, not that I approve or condone. I don't personally smoke weed, but my boy Miguel, I mean, he's been here 25 years now. Well, he started a vape shop, like these vape things, like not just regular tobacco or whatever, down in Greenwich, Connecticut. He owned it for like 5, 6 years, and then when they made weed legal, pot legal in Maine, he moved to Maine. Yo, he turned a little $10,000 business into a 7, 8 million dollar operation.
yeah, it's crazy, and it's crazy. And with I've been here all my life. I came when I was 8, so I'm basically from here. My daughters born here. All my life is here. But what I see is that things were done the wrong way. You know, that's the main thing. And it gets to a point on everything that when the water fills up the cup,
Pours out.
extreme measures are taken. And that's what happens here. But most of the immigrants that we come, I can include myself. You know, we came here for what you're saying, the freedom. That being able that your work pays off. Something that if you really work hard, you get
Have
somewhere.
it. It's
In
beautiful.
other
It's
countries, no
beautiful.
matter, Italy, for example, no matter how hard you work, you're still there.
You don't get nowhere, man. That's the truth. I mean, but that's America in general. That's right. This country was built off of immigrants, man. Everybody that came to this country, from white to black, all of us, other than Native Americans, are immigrants to this land, right? And we
100%.
all came here from persecution and prosecution of some sort, whether it was religious prosecution, whether it was idealism, whatever the hell it was, whatever reason, everybody came to America in search of something better, right? And when you lose that, the point of what I'm really getting at is when you lose that idea, that notion, that vision that you are entitled to rather than you have to work for, you're never gonna get nowhere, man. No, you're never gonna get nowhere because you're not entitled to nothing. You're given opportunity, and if you bust your ass, you know, you can have anything you want, man, and that's just the truth, man.
Of course, and then that's what I love about this,
Hell yeah, you're
because
doing it though.
yeah,
Two
yeah,
businesses.
just like I said, it's not easy. People think the work what we do, is easy, but I get from my work, I get here, then I have to clean cages, feed the geckos, and end up at 1, 2. And at 7,
Facts.
I have to get up, either work, My wife works as well with me, so either she go one, I have to take the girls, or it's the other way. But it's hard. It's hard. But the point that I want to make is that when you bust your ass, you get there,
Yes.
and that's the satisfaction you get.
Yes. Instagram and social media does a good job of painting a pretty picture, right? Like you were mentioning earlier with your incident with the animal, as tragic as that was, losing that expensive animal and just a pet and something you care about in general, is that people don't really see that, right? Like all they see is animals, people buying them, and money. Like you don't see the ugly side. You don't see the piles of gecko crap. You don't see that the infertile eggs. You don't see the stuck sheds. The 100 cages that got to be changed. The 100 water bowls got to be swapped. I mean, people don't see that side. Someone's doing that work. You see these healthy animals. They don't just get healthy. Someone is doing the work to make these
Yes,
healthy animals.
and that's what I was telling you, that there's a lot of behind of the prices that people ask. More, some are more higher than the other ones. Um, but it's that's the reason. You just said it.
Sure. Where do you see Gecko Monster in 5 years? What's your 5-year plan?
Um, I think my plan is, keep opening the lines. I got a lot of geckos, that I brought in that are not ready to go yet, that are really, really crazy. I took this year a bit slower, because I separate some groups that I had because, the geckos were getting a couple of years, so I wanted to, make a different thing. Also, I wanted to also try to make a little difference because they call me the male maker because I only make males. So I was
talked to
trying to,
Paul Morlock, man. We could get into that. I had Paul on. Paul, obviously, from Rack House, right?
of course,
So I could talk to Paul.
he's like the guru of the.
Yeah, he was telling me about it, man, and I'm super. It's interesting, man. So you're one of the people proving this to be true, huh? So
Yes,
you believe in it then? Male makers is a fact.
yes, it is 100%. I have produced over 100 geckos, and I just noticed one was female.
Out of 100.
Yes, and I have it here with me.
That's 99%, 99.9%.
Yes. Every other gecko that I had produced, it was male.
And you don't think it's incubation temperatures or anything? It's just a genetic
No,
thing.
because I tried it.
Okay.
I bought an incubator. I put it in different temperatures, and the outcome was the same.
That's awesome to hear. People need to hear that. That's good.
I believe it has a lot to do with the gecko genes.
Uh-huh.
In this case, the male's genes, I guess, were super strong.
Uh-huh. Paul convinced me after he explained it in his way, and I listened to him. I don't doubt it one bit. It makes perfect sense. When you look at New Caledonia, and particularly an animal like gargoyles that are, capable and actually quite often, perform parthenogenesis, right? Like they give birth to fertile eggs without a male being around. It only makes sense that a male would continue to keep remaking males in order to populate and fertilize a female of predominantly female geckos. Like it just I'm not nearly as smart as you guys are with these gargoyles, man, but it makes perfect sense, man. And if you've done the experiments with the temperatures and stuff, that's great evidence. That's great information. People are out there still trying to prove these theories and stuff, but and God bless them. I'm not saying anyone should ever stop trying to prove any theory, but it sounds like if you've got a male and he's produced 99 males.
Yeah, I think is something there. Like you say, a lot of people are trying to prove different things, but I tried it because I was like, how can I only make males? And because people ask you for females, then my first response is I don't have.
Huh.
And they don't
females
want.
Are more popular, right?
Well,
in general, like in gargoyles.
The thing is that I think with most of the geckos, you can put one male to a lot of females, which they make them more important than the females. But I think on my end, I think females are more important than males. Why? because they are the one that produce. You know, the more that you have,
More babies you get.
yes,
Yeah.
and one
Valid
female
point.
you can put 1 to 3.
Yeah.
1 to 2. I also talked to Paul about it, and he was telling me that it's always good not to do 1-1, which I understood a lot because, the gecko won't stop bothering the female.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
True.
the pressure that female gets is a lot.
Yeah.
So when you got 2 at least or 3, which I think is better,
Tracks them.
he gets out of the way of the 1, maybe the 2, and then and he'll move around. So
Do you
it
do that with your
makes
crested geckos too?
I have a couple of cresties, not too many. I have I work with the caps, lilies, sables now,
Nice stuff. Nice stuff.
and I have a
That's
couple of
awesome.
Santics, but that will be it.
Do you really? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you with your pairs, your crested gecko pairs, do you keep them one and ones, or do
No.
you do?
I also do 1 and 3
Okay.
or 1 and 2.
Okay.
Just for the same reason, I found it that it was super.
Let's pull these up. I want to show some people some of the stuff that I've been seeing, man.
Yeah, of course.
Some of this stuff is insane. All right, so let's rewind a little bit. So you've been doing this for a while, right?
Yes.
I just got into caps. This super cap here, this was yours?
Yes, this is mine.
Obviously, did you produce it or did you buy it?
No, it was that one I bought it.
So what's the deal with that, man? Is there truth to it? Is it still alive or did it die?
No, I still have them, but
Really?
yeah.
See, they're saying that it can't live.
Well, I think I have him now for at least it was 3 to 4 years. I got him when he was a baby. The thing is that they're not. I had to take him to the vet a couple of times.
Really?
Yes, he cannot breed or he cannot do anything, so he's my pet.
Okay.
And he is not. Imagine he's 4 and he hasn't passed 28 grams.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So here I hear a lot of bad things, and I don't know much about him, to be completely honest.
I also was given another baby and he's taking the same route. When he was small, he was a little monster, but now he's a little taking that end where he's getting a bit skinnier, He's eating well, but I only kept him and the reason that I wanted it was, to prove myself, the development of that gecko in specific.
For sure. So you breeding chihuahuas too?
Yes.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful, babe. Beautiful Pine Island.
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago. I sold all my chihuahuas.
Ah.
Yes, because I was taking a different route with the gargoyles, but I came back to it, so I'm growing the ones that I have now.
Happens. So I want to show everybody, is this Klaus right here? Is this a picture of Klaus?
That's Klaus.
This is him?
Yes.
So where did Klaus come from? Where's he from? Tell us about Klaus. Is he the mail maker?
Yes, he
is.
He's not the mail maker. He's the son of the mail maker.
He's not. Okay. Are the offspring of, that's what I wanted to ask you too.
Yes.
Now, does a mail maker, if a mail maker makes a male, are all of those males also mail makers?
That's what I'm going to prove this season.
Okay.
This is Klaus' first season breeding. I already have 4 eggs from him.
Congratulations.
So let's see what we're going to get. So if you
I'm interested.
If you go down all the way to the bottom, a little bit up, a little more. I believe those are Klaus' parents to the left, if I'm not mistaken.
Right here.
Yes. I know that's the mom, the one with the red stripe.
The one down here on the bottom?
Yes. Yes.
Where'd you get them from?
From David.
Oh, they are David's?
Yes.
Go figure.
Yes.
Beautiful animals in general, man.
And the father
who's this right here?
That's Klaus when he was little.
Wow, he was something right from the beginning, huh?
Yes, he was something from another world.
He's not even like he's red. He's like electric, man.
Yes.
He's like...
Yes, he's like a super insane red.
This one? This got that same kind of red.
Yes.
This is him also?
No, that's another one.
Do you know what group? What? Well, I guess you said the other ones were the parents of them, but that's interesting. See, I wonder if any of the other clutches, like his clutch mates, Klaus's clutch mates, that were males, if they're male makers too. You guys got me super interested with this male maker thing, because that means it's something genetically. It's something with the DNA that's causing it.
I believe it's something genetic, because I tried to ask different breeders, trying to figure it out, see if I get a different thing, and all the outcomes are the same.
All right, so this is one of your unboxings from Korea here, right?
Yes.
This tiger animal, that's from RCK. Where did you get this tiger cat from?
He's from RCK.
That's a beautiful animal, man. Beautiful.
Yes. All my calves are from RCK.
Nice. Are you working with that animal yet, or is that something you're still raising up?
No, she's almost ready. I'm waiting for the male, to breed with her. Because I didn't want to put her, I wanted to try to make like really tigerish cappuccinos. So I got some tigers from Gecko Monster, from Sabertooths and Tigra. So I'm waiting for them to be ready and see what it's gonna produce. I wanted to produce like a super tigerish thing. Let's see how they come.
So when it comes to pairing like your crested geckos, or we'll talk about your gargs too, but what are you looking for when it comes to pairing them? Are you going by weight? Are you going by age? Is it a look? What do you look for hypothetically to pair up your animals?
My experience, it's weight and years, how old they are. I try to do nothing less. He's a female, less than 2 years, and for the male, I try to get him to a year and a half in a certain way, because of my experience. Also, the females get aggressive with the gargs, so females can push the gargs around. See, that's Klaus' father. That's the male maker.
This one,
the one next to that one. No, the other picture on the top. Yes. No, on the top. The one that you put to the left. Down.
Yeah, we're looking at the screen backwards.
That one.
This one.
No, on the top. On top of the crestist.
Ah, right here.
Yes. Do you see that one in the far end?
Yeah, that's the father.
Yes.
Oh, there's 3 in that picture. I can't even tell. There's 3 right there.
Yes.
That's the group? Is that the whole group?
Yeah, that was the group. Yes.
Nice.
So, and we were talking with David as well. Even though he's not that crazy looking, the genetics that he had are insane.
Absolutely. Oh, so this is Deadpool line then?
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, that's what's happening.
Yeah,
here.
All the characters that I produce are Deadpool line.
Oh, all right. I thought you had like 1 or 2. I didn't know they all were. Okay. So that says a lot. See, I don't know much about gargs. I have one pair of gargs, and I love them. I just don't know a third of what you guys know. I buy them because I love New Caledonia, right?
100%.
Like, I think it's insane, the island and the diversity. So I have everything from New Caledonia. I keep probably like 22 different species of geckos. Everything from New Caledonia except the rough snouts, lychees, sarahs, Eurodactylotes, Chihuahuas, mainland, Ampine Islands, a few different locales of lychees.
You got everything.
Yeah. And again, just one pair of gargs. And it's not that I like them any less than anything else. It's just when I got them, I was trying to hone in on all the species,
100%, yeah.
So this striped guy right here, will this stay like this, or this eventually grows up and?
No, they're like that when they're babies. Then the red pops out. That's how they're born. They're born with acceleration, so you don't really know if he's gonna go red or orange.
So how do you pick a holdback? Well, if you saw an animal like this and you're breeding your animals, how do you know? What do you look for? And be like, this is a holdback for sure.
Yes, you look for the coloration. You see where there's color and there's not. So when you see all the coloration is all around, that's basically a holdback. When you see that color, they have color everywhere. That's
Then
when
you'll know that it's either going to change or
yes.
it's
See that picture that you're going over right now? Look at that
yeah
baby. See the coloration is all over.
everywhere.
Even the stripe towards the belly.
Oh yeah, wow. That thing, it's even almost covering up the stripe in the middle of his back.
Yes. And when they start the stripe start closing, then you know he's gonna be a really nice guy.
Wow. Did you produce this one?
Yes.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What year? Oh, that was 2023. You
Yes.
still have that? Do you still have that animal?
Oh yes.
You do.
See, that's Klaus' father. Down.
Yeah.
And
This
that's a
one?
mom.
Both of these.
Yes. That's a mom?
She's a big girl, huh?
Yeah, she's huge.
Do you breed for other things with your gargs? Like other than the color, do you breed for like horn structure or size? Is there anything else you focus on, or is it your primary objective is color?
No, my primary objective is coloration. And there's a lot of geckos that they see a bit different, so then I try to pair them, to push, let's say, horns and type of things.
See, he's got that color though. He's got that
Yeah,
Klaus color right there. He don't got
see,
as much of it, but he got that different.
he has that coloration. You see that red, how highlight is?
They're in good shape, Mauricio. Your animals are healthy. They're not fat. They look like yoked up.
Yeah, I try to, again, I try my best, try to.
Respect, brother. I love seeing a healthy animal. I hate when I see a fat animal. No offense. It's like
The
this.
thing
You're
is
not doing
that,
the animals any justice by just power feeding
yes,
our animals to get them to weight. You need to give them time and food and let them grow.
and that's the main thing. I think you said it all, Like I don't agree with power feeding and all of that because it's just like anybody, you need time to get where you want to be. So when time's ready, you're gonna make it happen.
Sure. Who we got here?
You
Oh, this
promise?
is Klaus again.
Yes. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's the female that I lost, the one on the bottom.
Oh, so you never even got to know nothing from her and Klaus, huh?
No, nothing. And
Did she also come from David too?
no, she was coming from Korea.
What we got here?
Oh, it's a gecko that I gave away on Christmas.
The last
Yeah.
day.
Yes.
That's
Tomorrow,
awesome,
I'll
man.
let you guys know
Give
who's
it
the
back to the
winner.
hobby, man. Give it back.
Yeah, 100%. Again, I believe that there's a time for everything. I was really grateful. That everything was, getting where I wanted it to be. So, I try even to my customers, when they do a purge, let's say they buy a big red, I give them another one, a Cresty or whatever.
For sure. That's awesome, man. Do you typically do you have an average weight where you sell something? Is it do you wait till like say an animal's 20 grams and then say I'm gonna sell it, or will you sell babies?
No,
How do you do that?
I try to be at least I will say 7 to 10 grams.
Okay.
It's nothing bad to sell it smaller. It's just, me trying, make sure the baby's strong enough.
You got to know for yourself, right?
Because
You know what's funny is I quoted you the other day. Someone told me I was doing an interview with Coos Gecko, Kyle from Coos Gecko,
okay,
and he was saying he watched a video that you were in, and you were talking to somebody, and he said you gave somebody advice. You were like, "I'm gonna give you a piece of advice or something." I don't want to quote you, but you said you never sell your best shit.
of course,
So that makes perfect sense. You can't sell them until you know that it's definitely not your best stuff.
100%. It's like you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Absolutely. And I tell people all the time. People ask like, "Oh, why don't you sell anything? Why don't you do this? Why don't you?" I'm like, I don't sell animals. I'm trying to accomplish something, right? Like
100%.
I don't know how all my stuff is gonna to develop, grow, and I'm not where I want to be. So when I finally start producing stuff, you guys will know. When I start selling stuff, you'll know where I'm at, where I want to be. But I'm not there. When I put this vision into the flesh, when I can make it, then I let it out. But I just
And I agree
I'm
with you 100% there because just like I tell people, this is not my main source of income. So it doesn't make me want to sell you something.
facts.
I want you to be the right person to have one of my, my geckos. Just like you say, the way you talk to me, how you approach me, that has a lot to say because when you talk to people, you figure it out a couple of stuff. So it's not that
Sure.
I need the money to sell you something, so I'm gonna rush you or I'm gonna do no. If you want it, it's gonna be there.
Sure. Did you produce this one?
Yes,
No, that's something. That's that color, man. That's that Klaus color right there.
yes,
And he's small too. See, his little orange already went red.
yes. See, that's how they change from that orange to that red.
Well, I wonder if it's some type of like hypo or something. Like, it's something's different. It's just different. It's
Yes,
I don't know how to. I can't put my
I
finger
don't
on
know. They call them in the goggle either super reds. Then you get the six stripes where they have stripes all over.
it. This is that Korean tiger cap, huh?
Yes,
This thing. I don't know if you know how serious this animal is, man. This is serious gecko.
that girl is insane.
Color, man. She's something, boy. Oh man, beautiful, man. I might have to do that Korean thing, man. I'm just going so nervous. I'm like,
Yes, it's a really nice thing to do, brother. If you like some what they have, find the good prices that you want. It's the only thing you got to add of the shipping, the import, and all that. That gets a little expensive, but it pays
it
off.
makes more sense to buy a couple animals, right? Like to buy
Yes,
one,
yes.
you're
I
paying
always
more in
tell
fees and
it's
stuff.
if it's something that you really want, but if not, try to have a couple and do it because it gets a little expensive. That's the sable.
So what do you know about? What have you learned about the sable gene? That's another kind of new one in the crested gecko world.
Yeah.
What have you observed?
Bro, I've been trying to look at them and see the difference. And the funny thing is that they look super similar to fraps.
Really?
They're super similar to fraps with the clouds. But if you look at baby, sable baby, the only reason that I know he's a sable is because of the groups that I got him from.
You're not the only one to say that. You know that, right? Like a lot of people are convinced that it's just a different form of cappuccino. Like they think that the
It, it,
sable
it could
is.
be because I have a couple of fraps that they look just like that one. They're just smaller.
That's a beautiful animal, man. That's a beautiful gecko.
Yes.
Wow, very very impressive. Is this the same girl right here? Is that her?
No, no,
Is it a female?
no, yes, that's a female, but that's a lily, if I'm not mistaken.
Is your sable a female though? Your sable lily,
Yes.
is it a female?
Yes, I have a sable female and a male.
So what do you pair to us? What would you plan on pairing that up with? What do you do to with a sable? Like what's
I have
like I wouldn't even know what you pair it to.
I have a regular sable with a sable lily.
Okay.
So I know for a fact I'm gonna get sables and sable lily.
Super sable. What's a super sable do?
The super sable is like the super form, just like the super cappuccino.
Oh, it is.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a super form, just like with the luwak. That is a super form, another super form of the cappuccino. And
Ooh,
there's
these are
so
my
much.
favorite, man. I love these blotches, these skeleton blotches and super
Yes.
blotches, man. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Yeah, and I'm growing one that's really crazy. I think I put a video of her that's red all over.
Wow, these are both, and orange is like my favorite color, man. Well, obviously I'm a Mets fan, but orange and royal blue, man. This orange, these animals are gorgeous, dude. You have some pure. You know how to pick them.
Yeah,
You know how to pick them. You got an eye.
I've been learning.
Yeah, you definitely got an eye. Wow, I can't get over them. If you look, because I doing this podcast, I see a lot of geckos, right?
Of course.
Yours look significantly different than a lot of animals, man. The color of your animals are. I could look if you showed me, took all names and tags off, and showed me a lineup of 3 similar geckos. I could pick your animals.
Thank you, appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing, man. He's something. Ooh,
Yeah, he was one of the kind.
Have you kept many of his offspring back? What is this?
That's an orange guy that I have.
Oh,
Which that's the next group that I'm super hyped for. Which I'm gonna try to make like full oranges.
he's got perfect black separations, though, almost like perfect sections of.
And I don't know if the female's there, but the female have like a line in the face.
Really?
Yes, a black line
That's a
through the
beautiful animal,
face,
man.
which
That's a
They're insane.
That's a gorgeous. Oh man, is it this group? Are these all babies you produce?
Yeah, these are all babies I produce.
Jeez. I mean, genes matter, man. Genetics matter. I can't deny it. When you look at these
I
animals,
think they do. Yes, yes, they have a big impact on. I believe just like with cars, when you have a brand that always makes solid stuff, I think that's the way it's gonna go.
for sure, for sure. What's the Japanese guy that's always making the Porsches? You know, he does the body kits on the
Yes,
Porsches.
yes,
He gets
yes,
paid like big money to come do them. You
yes,
pay him,
and he's
you don't
he's
know what
in
he's
the
gonna
chair.
do because he does everyone different. He does every
Yes,
Porsche different,
yes,
but you pay him because you know he's gonna come through.
100%. Like he never fails. It's like,
Uh,
and he really analyzes what you ask him for, and he goes for it.
is this that female? Or no, this is a guy. This is
Yes,
a man. This gotta be Klaus, though. No,
yeah, that's
man.
close.
I guess I could pick him out now. Now, what's this? This looks like a different color red. Oh,
Yeah,
this is the.
that's the mom. That's Klaus' mom.
See, so is she technically Deadpool too? Is she a Deadpool line?
Yes,
Because that's more of the color. When I see David or think of David stuff, I think of that deeper.
that deep red.
Yeah.
But I think they made a big match with the other red.
Hell yeah. What's this? Isn't the same animal, is it?
No, that's another female. That's the third female that I have.
She's nice too.
Yeah, she's huge.
She had like a dinosaur head or something, man.
Yeah,
Oh, so those are all.
and that's the father.
So how long? I know you say for 8 years you've been doing this, but how long have you been keeping? How long have you been honing in on very specific gargoyles out of the whole 8 years? Like when did you tighten down the operation and say this is
I
the
believe
route I want to go?
3 to 4 years. That's when everything started to develop a little bit.
Oh, did you make this or this is one you bought? Deadpool Junior blood. Oh, this is Deadpool's kids'
Yes,
offspring.
yes. That's one of the guys that also going to start breeding soon.
Also, he's almost grown, huh?
Yes, Deadpool Junior. I
How
wanted.
did he turn out? Because he looks like he'd be a stunner right here.
Oh no, he is. I wanted to go the kind of the same route, but with a different blood. You know,
What's your stance on? How do you feel about line breeding?
line breeding. You say like sister to brothers, things like that.
I guess I don't do it, so I don't know, and I'm not judging anyone that does because I
No,
just don't do it because I don't know
try.
enough.
I tried as much as I can not to do it because that's I used to call them that when I saw them to. That's the orange one.
That animal's special, man. I keep getting drawn to this gecko, man.
Yeah,
I like this gecko.
let me see. Hold on. One second.
Wow. Oh, wow, look at this one. This one does have a perfect, just a
Look.
pinstripe.
It's right here.
Well, let's narrow the screen down so the people can see.
That's the female that want to put. See the line in the head that I'm telling you.
Yeah, she was insane. Oh my god.
See, this is the orange. Now he's big. See if I can get him.
That's a beautiful, holy crap. Now I see there's definitely levels to this. Wow. That color, you got that color pinned, man.
Yeah, he's orange. It's crazy. And
Small.
I believe I have 2X from this guy.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And let me. You want to see the females that I'm telling you about so you can see it better?
For sure. For
Now,
sure.
See that baby picture you showed is this girl.
Ooh.
See the line in the head?
Yeah, right down the middle of her face. That's cool. She got like a reticulated python line or something. That's just cool. Beautiful.
So now
Jeez.
the picture was when she was a baby. Now she's almost full grown.
Yeah,
So
there
when,
she
you
is,
know-
guys. There she's grown. Nice little horns too. Beautiful eyes. Do they all keep the blue eyes? Have you seen? Well, other than the Phantom Eye, have you seen guards with any other color eyes?
No, I think that's the eye color they have. Besides Phantom, this is why they all have.
Are you working with anything with the Phantom Eye? Do you have anything that has Phantom Eye?
No, I don't have anything with it. We like to have at one point, but that wasn't my goal.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the geckos with the Phantom Eye, it's not something that you pick. It's something I was born with. So the coloration, for me, that was my aim. So phantom eyes, sometimes they don't have as crazy as colorations as what I'm looking for. So I haven't been working with them yet.
Okay. She's even got cool like masks across her face, like black eyes around her, black bars down her eyes. That's cool. That's a pretty animal, man.
Let me look. Let me
That is
show
a
you
pretty
the other one. I have two like this. Come here, baby.
beautiful animals, man. Guard. See, I always, lean more towards certain species than others, man. But sometimes you see someone's collection and see some animals, and you're like,
Look at this one.
"Jeez, oh, she's solid red.
It's orange.
Yeah, solid. Whatever. She got nothing but a stripe. That's crazy. So what do
See,
you
so
call that? What's that called?
supposedly, David told me they call them clowns.
Really?
Yes,
Damn. That thing had no stripes on its side. It just went from its side all the way up its back.
yes. So this is the big group that I'm aiming for. See
Okay.
if I can make like complete orange without breaking, the coloration.
Yeah. Have you seen do you know Bobby from Gecko Cove?
Yes,
You see how he's got that one animal that's like all red. It has like a red base color, but it's like
yes,
red everything. What is that? Like, 'cause it doesn't have crazy stripes or anything, but when it fires up, it's all red.
yes. You want it?
What's
You
what?
want it? That's like a full red. We could say blood full red.
Huh?
Actually,
Interesting.
I have one of those.
Really?
You want to see it?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I would love to.
She's fired down, but you can see.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly. There's a look there. See, I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like if it was a crested gecko, it'd be like its base color. Its base color is red.
Yes, it's base color red. And when they go, I believe I have it on the Instagram. When she goes like fired up, it's completely red. Like you see blotches here, but when she's fired up, you can barely see the difference.
Is it only blotches that have that red base color, or can you get red stripes that also have that red
No,
base
I
color?
believe you can also get a red stripe that is super red. Let me see. I believe I also have an example of what we're talking about. Let me pull it out.
You got
See,
everything.
I tried.
Cool dude. I love when I have guests on and they're good people, man. It's awesome.
So these are the female. It's kind of a deep red.
Okay. Oh, she's cool. She's different too. Wow.
I don't know if you. I don't got much light here, so
Yeah, no, I can see. I can see for sure. She almost looks kind of like purple from my angle.
let's see if I can. Mm,
Oh, there you go. Yeah, very nice. Oh, she got a lot of that red going up on her head, on her face, and cheeks.
yes. So she's like a deep red all over. That's the
Yeah,
reason I got her because I wanted to see what she produced. She's also from David. What she
yeah.
produced with all that red.
Has she produced for you yet?
No, not yet. I haven't put her to produce anything yet. See, I believe she's almost ready. When I bought her, David told me to keep her like a year or something. It's been more than a year. So I'm still keeping her, See, probably she's going to breed soon.
Very nice. Again, so healthy animals, man. Beautiful.
Thank you,
Hats
brother.
off to you for keeping them healthy like that. I think more emphasis needs to be put on how healthy our animals actually are and not what they look like. Like there's a huge difference between an overweight animal and a fit animal. Like a fit animal clearly has an athletic look, like an NFL linebacker or something. Like they
Yes,
have a healthy
yes.
look.
I think that's the one that's the main thing that we have to keep on, and everybody as a breeder, everybody as a hobbyist overall, not because if you breed or not, is
Sure.
keep your animals as healthy as possible. Because that's first of all, you're gonna keep them for more years. You're gonna see they're gonna have a good life because a lot of people find the hobby because how the geckos live or how big the enclosure has to be. But if you keep them healthy overall, you're gonna have a nice, strong gecko.
Absolutely. What is your feed? We didn't talk about your feeding regimen. What's your feeding regimen look like for your animals? What are you doing? Are you
I
doing
feed
anything different?
I feed 3 times a week.
Okay.
Where I do twice is gonna be the mix, and then once a week I give them bugs.
What do you do for bugs? Like
Crickets,
cricket?
yeah, mostly crickets because I'm not allowed to bring any type of roach here in the house.
Yeah, roaches in Florida.
Otherwise, I'll get kicked out.
The
You
wife or
know,
the
yeah. So try not that happen yet. Let me
good.
put this one
It's all
back for
about
to the.
compromise, right?
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah. I've been married like 6.5 years.
Oh, that's nice. I've been married for 15 already.
No shit, for real?
Yep.
God
Yes.
bless, man.
Yes,
God
and I'm
bless.
only
That's
34,
awesome.
so you can imagine.
That's awesome, man. That's what life is, though, right?
Yeah,
You know,
I
you find
think
a,
it's
a woman that supports you.
when you find that person is you know that's the one. You know whatever in the future happens. You know when you find that woman that pushes you, and you know make a man who wants to be better every day. You know it's for a reason.
Absolutely.
It's not just
Absolutely.
because she's there with you. It's because
Well, I tell my boys all the time, my boys that are single or whatever, I'm like, you spend so much of your life and your time looking for superficial stuff in a woman that you don't even know what life is. Once you find a woman and you X that whole chapter of your life off, you got a
it's
woman, you'll
it's
know what living is. Then you
yes
will start enjoying
it's
things for you.
it's a different world, and you find like for men supposedly this is just me. Nobody has to take it. My dad taught me that manhood is not for how many women you have, it's how men act. And when you find that woman, you don't need to look any other side. You're just rushing to get back to the house so you can see her again. And that's when you get to that point, it's a different world because you guys connect in a different way. It's
Absolutely.
like and it's been a big help for me because when you run a business, sometimes things doesn't go the way you want, and you come home defeated. But as soon as I walk through that door, when that woman sees me, it changed my world. And sometimes she tells me a few things, that tells me, what, tomorrow I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna eat the world because this person believes in me, believes I can do it. And that for me had made the difference in a lot of ways.
God bless, man. That's beautiful. You know, there's a saying out there. They say, like, show me a successful man, or something like that, and I'll show you a man that has a woman behind him, or something
Oh,
like that. It's like one of them
100%.
cliche things.
100%. And I also tell my friends, half of the things that I have accomplished is because of her. You know, because a man fight, right? I always tell this to my wife, when we talk. The warrior goes and fight, but he comes back wounded. And to be able to go fight again with the same strength, you have to have somebody, to take care of you. And it's that person that, sometimes, man, we just need, somebody to tell us that, that we can do it,
Amen, brother.
that we're great.
Absolutely.
And by those little things, it makes the difference. Because to have that type of woman, and a woman that, and it's funny because, you know, I try to give my wife, as much as I can, because I tell everybody, the woman that was with you when you had nothing, and the one that's with you after all that, is the ones that matter. Because we always sit down with my wife, when we laugh, bro, it was a point that I didn't even have money to buy formula for my daughter. And now we look back what we accomplished, and you know what? And people, because people always gonna have a say on everything. But when I see those things, she just my other half, is like God gave me this woman the worst point of my life. When I came here just to make it short with my dad Found out he had cancer. They gave him 6 months. You know, it was just me and her. I grew up with him here. You know, and before this happened, I met her 2 months before. You know, and she was the one, you know, that kept me in track. That gave me a reason, you know, to keep fighting, because most of the men, we got lost. And I include myself, because we're easy, you know, to lose track of things when you don't have something to go forward to. Because we men, we're super simple, you know. They tell us to walk that way, and we walk that way. You know, and God's, you know, I believe a lot in God. You know,
True, brother.
God's put certain people in the path of certain people because of something, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's funny because sometimes you don't even know that person is gonna make such an impact in someone's life. It's just crazy. I know the way he does things, you know, it's hard to understand, but when you let him do it, he changes everything.
For sure. The most beautiful part about hearing the whole thing, man, is that you recognize it, man. I see a lot of guys. It's unfortunate that have women that love them. And they do them dirty, man. They do them dirty. They don't
But
realize what they had, man. And
look, that's it.
it's a sad thing, man. There's nothing you could do about it, though. You know?
But the thing is that, you know, that's when you see the couples, you know.
That's your wife on your arm?
Yes, that's her.
God bless, brother.
Thank you. Amen, brother. And that's when you see that, again, the difference in couples is funny. We were talking to her the other day, just to make it short. We had a friend of ours, you know, say that, you know, they were on vacation, and they were, you know, they can't see each other for too long because they want to kill each other. And me and my wife, we were talking about it, and we're like the opposite. It's like whatever we're doing, we rush back to, you know, spend time with each other, and you know,
Best
we don't
friend.
we don't we can be together the whole day and it doesn't matter. We also work together, which, you know, sometimes is tough, because working with your partner is tough because of opinions, because of things, you know. But we have been able to, you know, make it work. And it's all comes down to the same principle: respect. You know, respect in every way is everything. Because when you give it, you're gonna get it back.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a two-way street, man. Got to give it to get it, man.
Yeah, 100%, hundred
It's a
percent.
beautiful
And
thing.
people expect things, you know, to happen because of the air. And the thing is that the world is something that, you know, you gotta give to be given.
How's your wife feel about the reptiles? Does she do shows with you? Does she vend with you?
Yeah, she support me and all
Really?
of that. She's not a big hobbyist of things. She grabs them now. You can see her hands in a couple of pictures,
That's cool.
but she's not a reptile girl. She goes with me everywhere, you know, but she's not.
She supports you. That's it. That means more than it being
But
her. You
but
know, she's
but
there
she
for
helps me
you.
out. She helps me out to clean, even though she doesn't like it. She helps me out to feed sometimes, you know, which, you know, that makes the difference.
That's awesome, man. That's a
My
beautiful
girls love
thing.
it, which that's the big part.
I was just gonna ask, how do the kids like it?
Oh, they love it, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, they
That's
love
good.
it. They grab the geckos. My little one, she's not afraid of grabbing anything. So
That's awesome, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. Maybe someday you could, you build this empire and you pass it down to the kids, man, you know?
hopefully, brother, hopefully, you know, that's what they want to do. They like it, you know, and they keep going.
All right, well, we're coming to the end of this here, man. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on here. I think it was great for people to see who you are, how sincere and how genuine you are. I wish you nothing but the best. Not that you
Hey,
need my
no,
help,
no, the
but
same,
you've been
brother.
producing some incredible,
I
incredible animals. You've been a huge asset to the community with your positive energy, your whole mind state is just an asset to everybody that comes in contact with you. I haven't met or talked to a person that's ever had a bad thing to say about Gecko Monster. On the contrary, everyone I've spoken to has said nothing but amazing things about you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
And
it.
just looking, watching you and following you as long as I have, and this isn't to say anything bad about anybody else. I see something super special about you. I see something super
Appreciate
special
it,
about
brother.
what you're doing, and I think you have an extremely bright future with whatever you're doing. The what you're doing and how you're doing it in your eye is you have a gift,
I appreciate
and
it, brother. I appreciate it. No, I want to give you thanks for having me. You know, I'm
absolutely.
not, like you say, I don't post a lot of things in the Instagram. I'm not the best at it, but I really enjoy talking to people like you, where you get
It's a pleasure.
open a little bit and people can get to know me. I'm really
Yes.
thankful you gave me the chance to be in your
Yes.
podcast, to show myself, to let people know who I am. And super thankful for that, brother. Really, really, really happy I'm here with you.
If anybody wanted to reach out from you, if anybody wants to maybe inquire about a gecko or a group you have, what's the best way people could get in contact with you, or maybe find you at a show? Do you have any shows coming up, or how would you suggest someone
Um,
gets a hold of you?
for now, Instagram. Instagram is the best
Instagram.
way. Just shoot me a message. I'll get back to you. I really always tell people I'm always doing something. So sometimes, I don't respond as quick, but I'll always get to back to everybody, and try to make everybody happy. I even tell people, if you want to just talk about Gecko, just hit me up. I'm always willing to talk to people. Show them a couple of stuff.
Kick
It's
ideas around.
yeah, it's about to make the hobby better.
Yeah, guys, if you're doing anything out there and you have any doubts about, or have ever listened to Paul Morlock from Rackhouse talk about these mail makers and genetics, Mauricio has done the work. He's got animals that are proving this mail maker theory to be true. Contact him. He's super willing to sit down and talk to you and explain to you what he knows, and shoot the shit, man. I mean, he's a great resource when it comes to gargoyle gecko observations. He's worked with some beautiful animals, some incredible lines, some super notorious lines. He's got one of the craziest gargoyle collections I've seen with my own two eyes. And you have a man here that's willing to talk to you and help you. Reach out. Reach out to him. Let's start,
100%.
you know, building friendships, instead of drawing lines and making enemies, man. Dead all this fighting stuff, man.
That's what it's all about. For me, it's making friends, making people. Already, I have made a lot of good friends. It's crazy because just sometimes you don't even know who you're gonna be with. And making friends is a way to go. Because one thing gets to the other one, and
Absolutely.
it's just a way to go.
One thing that's ironic about it, though, and this isn't towards you, it's towards everyone in general, but you need to be a good person if you want to attract good people in your life.
Oh,
So if you're
100%.
good to people and you respect people and you treat people with honor and dignity and respect, you'd be amazed at how many people show you the same.
Oh, and
It's
and
as
that
simple as
and that's
that,
the
man.
way to
It's the
go for
golden
me.
rule.
For me,
Treat people how
everybody's
you want to
equal.
be treated.
Nobody how big of a breeder you are. If somebody doesn't know, for me, they're all the same. I will help you the same way if I could. Do the same for you because this is how my belief. What I do is not that I want it back. It's that when I need it, I know somebody's gonna be there. To give me a hand. That's why I always help everybody. Without wanting something back because everything has been given to from the one up there. So.
Amen. Hell yeah. Hell
So
yeah.
that's why I just do my thing, just be happy, and I push that to everyone. If you want to try, if you want to buy a gecko, doesn't have to be for me. Go ahead and do it. Be happy, enjoy it. That's the main thing about this is enjoying what you're doing,
Yes.
enjoying having your animals, enjoying being with them. For me, like the feeding time is special time. Where I get to spend some time with them, play with them. I always post pictures where I keep one, I put them, he is my partner, for the feeding time. Feeding the other ones, I give him some bugs, so he's chill with me. So I'll try to make it something special. Even bring
Yeah,
my kids in. Sometimes my kids help me out. So we can bond. And make something special.
beautiful, man. It's beautiful. So much more to this hobby, man. So much more than just geckos,
Yeah,
man.
100%, 100%. There's I tell everybody, to give it a shot. If you like reptiles, it doesn't, go for whatever you like. Doesn't have to be geckos, and enjoy. Enjoy. Sometimes those little things make the difference in life.
Absolutely. It's life's small pleasures that make all the big differences, you know?
Yeah, and it go through so quick that.
All right, again, Mauricio, it was a complete pleasure having you here. I hope everybody sees how genuine and sincere of a person you are, and I thoroughly confident that you will thrive at anything you
Thank
set
you,
out
brother.
on, any journey you
Thank you,
set
brother.
out on, brother.
Appreciate it again. Appreciate your time. And I know I make a new friend today,
Absolutely. And the
which
platform is always here too. If you ever discover something and you want to get on stage and you need to tell the community something, the invitation is always
100%.
open.
I really appreciate
You
it, brother.
always have this podcast. You could come on here and you could talk to the audience, man.
Yeah, hell,
Anytime.
same, brother. Whenever you need me, show me a message. I'm here.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Stay weird. I'll catch you next week, people.
Yeah. Thank
Peace.
you, my brother.